I'm live. The weekly double check to see if I'm actually in existence, to see if I'm actually live to the internet. And I am. Welcome back to another episode of Sugoi, Boyz. This might be a solo one for a while. I know there's some time conflicts and stuff with J-Chip, and I'm not sure if Dread is coming. But worst case scenario, this is just going to be sort of a live discussion here about anime collecting. And I mean, it was a subject that J-Chip had brought up, and it's something that me and him did a whole podcast with each other about a long time ago, like basically when I first met him. And it's interesting to think of like how my mindset is like sort of not entirely changed, but sort of adjusted from now until then. From then until now, I should say. So first of all, anybody watching, do you guys collect anime and manga like in person, like in print? Or do you just pirate stuff? Because honestly, I do a mixture of both. I've never been a liar on this channel. I've never been somebody that just promotes one way of going about enjoying anime. I think you should enjoy anime whatever way you really want to do it. I mean, as long as you're not really like hurting anybody or, you know, fucking anybody that's too young, you're probably okay in my book. All right. And I just like, I completely understand why people pirate stuff. It is the path of least resistance. It is the easiest way for people to obtain things, right? You literally just Google any show you want, and there's probably going to be a link on like 9anime or Kiss Anime or whatever site that you want to use, right? So that's easy. It's easy. It's sometimes in pretty good quality, not all the time, but some websites they've gotten better over time for sure. About having stuff in a good quality. And it's, I think the biggest like plus of doing that is that you aren't really shackled to A, paying money, B, running the risk of having something that you don't like, having garbage on your shelf, right? Having this stuff that A, you spent money on and you're never going to watch again, and B, the fact that you hated it, disliked it because maybe you did like a blind purchase. But that's blind purchases. I'm not really an advocate for those. I used to do them quite often. I do them from time to time now. Usually if I go to a con, I might have a couple blind buys. But those are usually only shows that like my friends and fans, subscribers, and everybody only shows that like they highly recommend me. Hey, Light, if you got the room for it, go wild. Yeah. If you have the money, I would say to buy shit, but some people, you know, they might not. I totally get that. I don't recommend doing blind buys. The only thing I own is season 3 of Dragon Ball Z. Just season 3. That's fine, Lord Kobe. You can actually get Inuyasha for pretty cheap nowadays. It's because they're DVDs. I'm not sure if they're actually re-releasing it in Blu-rays. I know they did the movies in Blu-rays, and I already have the movies on DVD. You can actually get all 4 movies in one set. I know that much. But think of the movies what you will. Plan on it. Yeah. It's a good. I have all of the DVDs to the show and DVDs to the movies. I want to say they were like 15 to 20 a piece when I got them. Maybe less. Probably less than that. But that's a perfect example. That is my favorite anime of all time, right? So that is something that I don't mind that's sitting on my shelf. Something like Trinity Blood, something that I basically blind bought because I heard about it on Adult Swim back in the day. Then I pop it into my Xbox One years ago and go to watch it, and now I realize I got garbage on my shelf. And it's this little box set thing, and it was expensive because it wasn't an Aniplex release, but it was one of those, what is it called? Anime Classics. I forget what company does the anime classics, but theirs are also kind of expensive. Bakano is another one of those. I think they're in print for like a short circulation of time, and then they kind of just they become more rare and therefore more expensive. So I don't recommend doing that. If you have shows that are like your favorite to watch, I would say buy them if you want. It's not like, however, it's not like there's a value to having something on your shelf for sure. It is always there. That's sort of like the cool aspect of it is always physically there, right? Like I could lose internet at my house and still watch Inuyasha. I mean, you could do that maybe with Wi-Fi, but I physically have all of the episodes of Inuyasha that exist. It's a very, like, if you're a completionist, very cool thing. But on the other end of the argument, you can also say that, like, well, the internet's going to exist probably forever, so streaming websites are going to exist. They're probably going to improve in terms of quality and stuff like that. Now, those aren't always like super reliable. I don't know about you guys, but I've used many different Gaio pirate sites. I don't download shows, just stream sites that will go under in a couple months, and then they might resurface with a new name. I don't use Kiss Anime because they don't let me use ad block, and I use ad block on like everything. I know, it's just a trash YouTuber. So far, I've had no luck in finding too many ways to be number one online. I'll just play the waiting game for it. So, hey, J-Chip, what's up? J-Chip, what do you think? Well, you're here to at least type with us. What do you think about collecting? Do you find yourself collecting more nowadays? Do you think it's necessarily quote unquote worth it? Do you do any blind buys? For me, I try to avoid blind buys. I think it's worth it to an extent. Like there's also like the argument that like, this is what like a lot of like card game players fall into is like you've invested X amount of dollars into a hobby, right? So it is that much harder to stop doing that hobby. Like I have bought like a ton of anime, not compared to like some people, but like a lot of anime, right? Probably like over a grand of anime in total. Am I going, like, to me that is like an investment of time and love, passion for the hobby itself, for the medium, for having these things tangible on DVD that I'm not really going to. I really don't want to stop doing that, but I have certainly slowed down for sure. I've slowed down for a lot of things, for a lot of reasons. Hey, Sweet Pea. And a lot, it's like, you get real life bills, when you finish college, you have this thing called a loan. You have potentially rent and credit card and gas and everything. And so it hits you harder, definitely, at least like for me, post university time. And it's like, I typed in the Sugoi Boyz, our little discussion before this today, that I don't really remember. I actually don't remember the last physical anime I bought. It might have been Anime Boston, or I usually do like a haul. I don't think I bought manga for sure. I've been buying like Vinland Saga and Happiness. That's a little different because that's like a volume that comes out like once in a while. But that's also like, I feel like there's way more people that just pirate manga than actually try to own the physical copies. But I think the last time I physically like bought anime was at Anime Boston, which would have been around Easter time. So like, what is that? Like April, and it's October, or it's September now. Pretty nuts. And like, there was a string of my life where I was buying anime probably like every week. Have any of you guys ever been like that? Have you like found like was there like it could be, I guess, any hobby where like you found yourself buying something like consistently, and it wasn't that like, it's not like I lost interest in anime. I still love anime. It's just, I think that I found like, I'm comfortable with like what I have for now, and then I think I'll add to it because there's a whole bunch of shows on my shelf that I haven't even started. So it depends on the blind buy. Most of the time now I just buy what I want to have, but sometimes if it's a magical pawn shop and it looks interesting, I'll buy it. We all wish that we had your pawn shop, JJ. Light Lelouch says, I still do blind buys from South Korea, generally buying movies from that region since they generally have nicer packaging and more goodies in their limited editions. That's interesting. I didn't know that South Korean stuff had some value to it. I imagine you have to use an all-region Blu-ray player for that. But J2 says, but I do not blind buy online because that's how I got Dance of the Vampire Bun. Feels bad, dude. Dance of the Vampire Bun. What a disappointment. I buy less anime because there's hardly anything with a nice limited edition. Last one I recently bought was Iron Blooded Orphans, which came with a cool Gundam model kit. That's really cool. I have not seen IBO. In fact, I haven't seen... The only Gundam I've ever seen was a couple episodes of the legendary Shining Finger that is... Is that like Zeta Gundam or something? Oh, God. What's the one with Shining Finger? Like, it's the one where like they're in space and like everybody has like their own country, or every country has like a robot, and they're really like borderline racist. Like I'm pretty sure the Mexican robot has like a sombrero on. I'm pretty sure that actually exists in the anime. And like I just remember that used to be on like Toonami back in the day, and that's the only Gundam that I think I've seen. But I think you made a great point that, like you said, that you buy less of it because there's hardly anything with a nice limited edition anymore, and that is 100% true. I spent a ton of money on Sangatsu no Lion or March Comes in Like a Lion's Blu-ray releases. Like way too much. Those who know, those who actually collect, those are Aniplex Blu-ray releases. The only way you can get it, and they're not imports. But they are, I want to say, you know what? Let me, while I got you live, I got them on Right Stuff. So they're around, I believe it's around $130 a pop for, and what they've been doing is they do them in part 1 and part 2. So like season 1 was part 1, part 2. They broke it up by 11 episodes apiece. So it was 120, so it's it's 260. You're talking $500, right? 260 and 260 because there's 2 seasons so far. Over 500, $520, right? For one show that isn't complete. Now I love the show. It's 100% my fault for spending that much money. Nobody on this earth made me spend that money, besides me. But I love the show. I want it forever. And you would think with such a price tag that it would have like a ton of cool features, and the box looks okay. It's way over there. I should have probably grabbed it for this. I did grab some other stuff from my collection. The box looks okay. The art on it's okay. It comes with like this little book thing, but the one thing that I really like on Blu-rays and DVDs are commentaries, interviews, maybe cool like art shit like on the disc, like back. Like I like to know like. Commentary is always my favorite, even if they're in Japanese with just subtitles, because I like to know what the creator's thoughts and about everything on their creation was. Very few have commentaries these days. That didn't used to be the case. It used to be like a lot of my older DVDs and Blu-rays, even for shows like that not a lot of people watched. Chrono Crusade has, I'm pretty sure, commentary on like over half the episodes. But you don't see that nowadays, especially with Aniplex stuff. And especially with, is it Sentai? It was Sentai Film, or whoever did Watamote. Watamote was an expensive Blu-ray that has, like, no features on it. And that's a real letdown. But in comparison to, like, back then and today, I really wish that we can go back to having nice box sets that actually have like value to the money, like that actually give you like features. I prefer to read manga physically. I'm reading JoJo digitally because there's no way I can read Part 6 physically in America. South Korean Blu-ray are generally region free, so it'll work anywhere. Interesting, I didn't know that. DVDs generally region lock. So the Yamada's first time. Yamada is still over on my. She's back on my shelf. Once that was done, I don't think it'll ever be opened. That's one of those. You haven't seen that Gundam. Oh my god. Legends of Galactic Heroes, I would like to own this on Blu-ray, but not for $800. What pisses me off is Sentai hasn't done any other release for it so far. Yeah, $800 for your Blu-ray of Legends of Galactic Heroes is a little too much. I fully agree with that. I think that is pretty absurd. I don't know what features even come with that, but it doesn't really matter. That shit can have like the best fucking features this side of the Mississippi. I'm not spending $800 on. I don't know if there's any anime I spent $800 on. I know I just said that I spent like $500, closer to $500 on Sagatsu no Lion, and probably by the series end, maybe it'll be up there. But $800, just one swing, just like, hey, here, let me swipe my debit card for $800 for anime. Pretty nuts. The thing that chaps my Wisconsin ass is anime companies charging $800 box sets. They won't release cheaper versions of the show. I feel bad for the guy that actually buys it. Yeah. Isn't that... There's no other way to buy Galactic Heroes, right? Isn't that it? That's really unfortunate. That's really fucked up. And I think that really hinders people actually going out and buying these things. I don't think there's a lot of, like, options. I think that's an issue. I don't think we have a whole lot of options anymore. Like, you used to have those, like, anybody else remember those, like, save editions? I think it's Super Awesome Value Edition, where they had, like, a green, like, side to the box, and it just says save on it, and it looks fucking ugly as sin. But, like, you can get, like, a whole, like, Chrono Crusade was one of those, and Shauna was one of those. You can get, like, a whole season for $20. As far as I can tell, I don't even know if they do those anymore. But nowadays it's just kind of like bigger box sets. So like I said that I had some of my collection with me. Give me one moment. We'll start out with like negative. Not necessarily the content at all. I love the content of the show. Made in Abyss. Okay? I love this show. This show is awesome. But this was very, very expensive when I pre-ordered it. I want to say it was like closer to $200, $100 and something dollars. And it's kind of cool. Like I did an opening video. Oh, excuse me. I did an opening video here on the channel, and it's kind of okay. It's like a cool like has these like straps. It's supposed to be like this like freaking what do you call it? Like a little treasure case kind of deal thing. Because it's made in Abyss and they go down looking for artifacts and shit. And, kind of cool. It came with like a whistle, like a white whistle thing. And it came with a weird like phone case thing. But, yeah, it's not bad. But like, I like it and I really like this show. But this really deters me from getting season 2 in a set like this. Like, I really wouldn't mind just a season 2 that's just the Blu-ray. And that is, I believe, an option with this one. Because it's just not, like, there's some features on here, but, like, I'd be down to sell this box set. Like, because it's just not, like, past its, like, opening, like, it's not really, like, I don't ever, like, that's the first time I opened it since I did that video. It's not, like, something, like, there isn't like there's some okay art in it, but it's not like I don't know. It's not like mind blowing or anything. There's not any like really cool features. There's not a lot that warrants like having this over the Blu-ray in my opinion, like the regular Blu-ray, the standard edition or whatever, right? Aside from this looks cooler on my shelf, but then that raises the argument of like, do you want to have as much stuff on your shelf as possible? And have them be, a myriad of different anime, or do you want a bunch of just like a couple different box sets? And For me, I'd rather have a bunch of save editions of shows that I like instead of taking gambles and spending a whole bunch of money on a box set that might not be that great. Box set that is really good. I got this in Anime Boston. Although I do wish it had more features. This is good because it's rare. This is a copy of Now and Then, Here and There, an anime that like 11 people have ever watched, but it is one of my favorite anime of all time. And I think it is the most underrated anime of all time. A gut-wrenching story. Like, it's actually an isekai. About this kid that goes to a world that has child warfare in it. And it is what I imagine to be a very realistic depiction of child warfare. And I have it signed by Lisa Ortiz, who's a voice actress from The Slayers, and she did this and a whole bunch of other stuff. But not only do I like this because it's signed, but I like it just because of its rarity. Like, Anime Boston had one copy of this 2 years ago when I picked it up, and they had one copy of it this year. In the whole convention. Because I walked around the dealer's room several times. Went to every vendor. And this was 65 or $70 when I got it. And to me, that was kind of worth it. Does not have a whole bunch of extra features. This is an older DVD. I think it has like an art gallery and has some like art stuff, but that's about it. Has like sneak peeks to other stuff, but there's no commentaries or anything. Would I love to see this come out again on Blu-ray? That'd be cool as fuck. But I think it would take some extra features to make me purchase it again. That's another thing. Do you guys ever like purchase stuff like again? Like, do you ever have something on DVD and then purchase it on Blu-ray? Because I don't do that. Like, I have Cowboy Bebop, one of my favorite shows. I have still the the DVD. I never picked it up on Blu-ray. Anime Essentials and Anime Classics kind of took over save editions. See, the Anime Classics, though, those increase in value seemingly over time because Trinity Blood was rather expensive when I picked it up because they kind of go out of print for a while. And I think the other factor of that is that the dude that made it kicked the bucket. Or something just blatantly goes out of print, like Baccano. Baccano is expensive as fuck because it's been out of print forever. Hey, Axel. Sorry, I missed what you had said. Only for manga because reading physical is a different experience. For anime, either way, you're watching on a screen. The only anime set I have is Berserk 97 limited edition because I'm a big fan. That's really cool. I wonder if that must be like a cool looking like box set if I remember correctly, right? Manga is kind of a different game. Manga's interesting because I always think of it this way. Like, anime is something, like, I rewatch a ton of anime. I'd never reread manga. I don't think there's a single series that I've reread. Because manga, I'm always out to like have like a new story, whereas like anime I kind of put in this like nostalgic like pocket. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that really makes sense, but like there's just like with anime like I kind of it's not that I really value it less. It's just that like if I'm spending it's that little more energy that I'm doing reading. Like I think that's what it is. I think if my body is spending that much more energy reading, I kind of want it to be something new. But I hate reading on a computer screen. So while I'm not going to ever reread it, I much prefer to buy manga in person, physically, volume by volume. Versus, reading something on the screen. Whereas with anime, I mean, I could stream it, I could own it or whatever, and then if I like it, I'll rewatch it. And if I don't, then it just sits there. But with manga, it's especially like if I have a manga that I don't like and it's sitting on my shelf, that kind of pisses me off even more. Like, there's a couple things that I've read for a taste of manga on this channel that I didn't necessarily like all that much, and I'm certainly never going to read any more of them again. and I kind of wish that, I mean, I should probably just sell them, but it's also sort of a good thing to like look at my shelf and see it as like stepping stones to like the manga fan that I am today, saying like, oh, okay, I have seen this or I have read this. Like I could say like, oh, I've read something by Ino Osano, right? Maybe it wasn't something that I necessarily thought was the greatest thing in the world, like some of his fans do, but I've added his work to my to my belt. I'd love to own Blood Plus and its original box set. Yeah, it's probably really expensive now, isn't it? I own Death Note on DVD and then bought it again on Blu-ray. That's pretty cool. I remember the Blu-ray looked kind of cool. That's kind of a good like marketing aspect on them because the Death Note DVD kind of looks like lame. I have that. It's just a black and white one. My JoJo Limited Edition has a booklet of storyboards from the anime and inside of the production of it. I found it getting. If an anime doesn't have special features but has an art book, I consider getting it. Art books are certainly cool. Manga box sets nowadays are way cooler than anime box sets, in my opinion. The only manga box sets I have Death Note, which is actually a pretty cool little set. I have Nausicaa, which I haven't even really cracked open. Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind. It's been like 2 fucking years since I've owned it, and I just keep pushing it off. And I own the Full Metal Alchemist box set, which actually came with the light novel. And it's a really cool looking box set. I've considered. I know Dread is reading Naruto, the original Naruto manga, and that has like 3 box sets, I think, that all look really cool. So they all look like really cool, like together on a shelf with all the artwork on the back of it and everything. But that's expensive. I give up hoping for JoJo Blu-ray over here because it's never happening. Has that really never gotten a Blu-ray here? That's interesting. You would think it would. There's some like popularity to that. But yeah, with manga, it's just like the factor of that it's the experience of it. I feel like takes more out of me. Like for whatever reason, it takes more out of me reading it. Like I have to. That's why like Nausicaa is sat on my shelf forever. Is like I want to, and I've never seen the Nausicaa film. I'm gonna outright say it. I'm a huge anime fan. Never seen Nausicaa because I want to. Everybody always says that the manga kind of tells the story better, and I want to be able to read the manga first, then watch the movie, which I feel like a lot of people don't have that experience. But it's just been something like there's just other things that jump in the way. And I usually do one and not the other. I'll usually watch an anime or read a manga. I usually don't do them both in the same day. But yeah, in terms of like collecting, with manga, I kind of like, I see the point of like a box set, but I sort of want, I kind of like the idea of volume by volume. I don't know if that seems like torture to some people. But with something like Happiness, right? That is a Shuzo Oshimi manga, the same guy that did what's it called? Flowers of Evil. And it's a manga that's been out for a while in Japan, and then since I don't read online, I actually wait for the physical copy in English. And those have been kind of sporadic and come like every like couple months or so. And I believe I've read the first 8 volumes. I think they're on like 9. I think it's 10 total, and I think they're on 9 now, or like 10 just came out. And I sort of like the idea of like I read this volume and then I wait like a little while and then I get the new one. It's a much better. I think it's much more enticing than like your weekly anime episodes, because it's like I have this gap of time before, like when you're reading the manga, like if you have like a couple, like say you have like a 2, 3, 4 month gap, right? You're reading it, at least for me, it's sort of like I think about that in the last volume that I read and the events that are going on and what's happening with the characters, and I think of like the ways that it could go. And I know very well I could just go and read online and know instantly what happens. But I'd rather kind of wait, and while I'm doing that, I enjoy other things. Sort of just how I enjoy it. I thought the Nausicaa manga was worse, but it had a better ending. I've heard that the Nausicaa manga like tells the story like better, and it's more like descriptive. Like, there's like maps of the world and stuff, and I think it goes into like a better description of how it is. I have not seen the film, but these are just things that I've heard. Never seen Akira. Everyone has that one popular thing that they haven't seen. I don't. This is gonna be a controversial opinion, but I don't think you're. While it's beautiful, I don't think you're missing a lot with Akira. You can just wait for the upcoming series, and you can be told apparently a better story. Never about manga since I can usually find it online. Okay, I can see that. I know a lot of people like that. That just here's the other aspect of this. Whenever I do grow up and move away from the casa of the parents of miasma here, whenever I'm financially stable to do so. By the way, check out the Patreon. Whenever I'm financially stable to actually leave this place, I have to physically move all of these DVDs and Blu-rays and volumes of manga. I am not looking forward to that. I have a lot of shelf space of manga. Blu-rays, DVDs, and the like. I am not looking forward to like having to move those. That's going to suck. And let's hope it's somewhere that I stay for a while. Like you imagine moving somewhere and then like moving shortly again after, and you fucking have all the shelves and shit. Akira is overrated. Some manga I can't physically read, like Sankushi, since it's fan translated. Okay. The part of the Akira manga I like isn't adapted, so you're probably right. Don't worry, just toss out your Yamada's First Time Blu-ray. It'd be easier to move then. For sure. There are some that I think might mysteriously disappear. I think that's what might happen. But, yeah. There's regrettable purchases for sure. And I mean, I didn't purchase Yamada's First Time. It was given to me by an unkind soul named J-Chip. Oh my god. I think it's because it's just me talking so much. I don't think my body is used to just be like going on like this. But I don't think that like regrettable purchases do suck. But I don't think that should dissuade anybody from at first like starting a collection. Like if you don't have anything and you're a fan of like certain anime, I always recommend to people buy whatever like your favorite is, or something that you seem like very interested in. Certainly don't blind. Certainly buy something that you've seen before, that you know you like, that you know you'll probably like 10 years from now, or you think you'll like 10 years from now. That's a whole other thing. It wasn't the first anime. There's a tie for the first. You guys want to know a fun miasma fact? Can anybody here guess the first anime miasma ever purchased? Not the first. I'll give you a hint. It's not the first box set. A lot of people I think are going to guess the first box set because I've certainly talked about it on here. And I might have mentioned the first. So there's technically you have two possible answers because I bought two anime on the same day. They're both. Here's some more hint. They're both save editions, so they're both from a little older era. That were like $20. They're both completed series, and they're both held in pretty high regard. It was not Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul was the first. That's what I was going to get to. Was the first box set that I bought that I thought I was going to like 10 years from now, and then I don't like it really anymore. Tokyo Ghoul was the first box set that I got. Tatami Galaxy Blu-ray doesn't exist here. RIP. Didn't that just come out? Maybe not in Australia, but didn't Tatami Galaxy just get a release? Ghost. Lord Kobe says Ghost in the Shell. I'm gonna let a couple people guess. You get one guess. You get one. Actually, you get two. There's two anime, Kobe. So Ghost in the Shell could be one of your guess. J-Chip says Inuyasha. Will he be correct? I should get like music for this. Do 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 do. As to what my first anime is, I'm just gonna keep adding layers of hint. I don't think I've reviewed them on, at least, okay. I don't think I've reviewed them on this channel. I've certainly reviewed one of them on an old channel. If you're an old fan of Miasma Senpai and you've dug deep, you might know my old channel, which is still there. Layla Lush guesses Fairy Tail and Bible Black. And Kobe's second guess is Eureka 7. All good guesses. All good guesses. Fairy Tail, Bible Black. Of course you guessed Fairy Tail, Bible Black. Can you imagine if it was Bible Black? Oh my god. Does everybody kind of get? I think Axel guessed Trigun. Axel, you get one more guess because there's two. I bought two. It was 2 in one purchase. Because I think back then it was a place called FYE, if anybody has those. And FYE used to do this cool thing where like you buy one Blu-ray or anime or DVD, and you would get a second one for like $5, sometimes even $1, like $1. Sweet Pea guesses Elfin Lead. Everybody, you get two. You get two. You can put type 2 in. Somebody might nail it. I can tell you're very close with Elfin Lead, if not right on the money. J-Chip's second guess is Shiki. So he guesses Inuyasha and Shiki. I'm gonna let okay, Axel's Future Diary. I'm gonna let Sweet Pea guess one more thing, and then I think I'll have everybody's guesses. Higurashi, so Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, or Higurashi When They Cry. Okay. Well, we'll go from the most recent. I don't own Higurashi. I've seen the first season, but I have not. I do not own it. So it is not that. It is also not Future Diary. I do not own Future Diary. I don't think I do. No, I don't. I don't own Future Diary. Not a huge fan of that show. Not a huge fan of Higurashi either. J-Chip's second guess of Shiki. Ding, 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 ding. He's 50% right, folks. Shiki is one of the series that I purchased. Sweet Pea guessed Elfin Lead. That was very close. Elfin Lead was probably like my next buy. It was very soon after that. Kobe says Eureka 7, one of my favorite anime of all time. However, unfortunately, Eureka 7 did not become one of my most favorite anime of all time until like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I did not watch it until then, and I've collected anime for probably like 4 or 5 years now. I believe I have a picture on my handy dandy phone of like my first. I think I took a picture of like me with like, or like it was like a shelf. I think it was like a shelf like of like the first anime that I bought. Let me see. I have to scroll way, way back because I'm pretty sure it was like near the time I first. Yeah, it's literally the first picture on my phone. Is how sad is my life? Is the first 2 anime that I purchased, and if I look under info, it should actually I think give me a date. Or details? Is that what it is? Yes. Okay, so I could tell you full-heartedly that I started collecting anime on July 12th, 2015. So I've been collecting anime for a little over 4 years. And Shiki's one of them. Let's see if anybody else got it right. So Layla Lewis gets Fairy Tail and Bible Black. Unfortunately, Bible Black, I don't have it on my shelf, nor do I have Fairy Tail. However, I have seen some of both of those anime. one of them more than once, and I'll let you speculate as to which one of those I've seen among Fairy Tail and Bible Black. Which one I've seen more than once? Inuyasha season 1. It was not that. I got Inuyasha all at like the same time, and it was like quite some time after I started collecting. Kobe gets Ghost in the Shell. That it is not. I do have Standalone Complex, and I have the movie, but it was not my first Axis' Trigun. I really dislike Trigun. I do not want it on my shelf. Luckily, I never blind bought it, or else I probably would have tried to get it away from me by now. So, nobody guessed the second one, which is fine. It's a popular anime, but it's certainly not, I think, the first thing that everybody would have guessed. I don't know if this is going to tell on camera. This might be an epic fail, guys, but I'm going to try and show the picture. I don't know if the camera's probably not going to focus, but I think that you can tell. Who could tell? Obviously, one is Shiki. Like, we know that. Shiki? Who could tell what that other one is? I want to see somebody type it out because it'll make me happy, as it were. But it's another one of my one of my favorite series. Certainly a very cathartic series. Something that a lot of people like. NHK, yes, Axel. I'm glad that shitty picture on my cell phone, the first picture, everyone here has now seen the oldest picture that I have on my cell phone. Why do I still have it? For this very reason. You never seen that anime? You never seen NHK? NHK is pretty good. Oh, Light Loose actually. I think you guessed it first. Welcome to the NHK. Yes. So on the same day back in 2015, I bought NHK and I bought Shiki. And I want to say I had seen one of them before, but certainly not both. I think I had seen Shiki before. I remember watching Shiki in college. And I would have I finished college in 2016. But it was near like early college that I watched Shiki. But Shiki, they're both really, really good shows. And while NHK was sort of like a blind purchase, I still think it's very, very good. I definitely didn't regret it at all. I'm pretty sure they both have commentaries, even though they're save editions. That's kind of the fucked up thing. Those fucking save editions have more value, like, on the disc than my, like, $130 March Comes In Like a Lion. Think about that. Think about how far we've sort of come. And then they wonder why people don't buy shit anymore. Because they don't make it, like, valuable. They don't make it worth it. And I get it. Anime is sort of like a niche thing, but, like, you gotta, like, if you want fans to spend the money, give them a product they want. Look at fucking Ruby. Ruby's coming out with a goddamn life-size scythe that you could buy, that the main character uses. It's going to be expensive as fuck. I'm pretty sure it's like $400. But people will buy it. You know why? Because fans want to buy that cool shit. If you give me a box set with some cool shit in it, people are going to buy it. If you give me a box set, even if it's like some cool commentary with some people will probably buy it. People will be interested. If you give me some features in there, that'd be cool. One thing I think that they should do is, like, so any old school collectors in here, I don't know if they really do this anymore, but old school collectors are going to know what I'm talking about. When you used to get like a Blu-ray from, like, I think like Funimation, what they used to do was inside of it would be like a little card. And what you could do is you could fill out your information on that card and you would kind of like review it. And then you could, sounds insane in 2019, you could mail it back to Funimation or whatever. Sentai, whoever the fuck it was. It's probably Funimation. Sentai's kind of lame. And then I think what happens is they enter you in some kind of like raffle type deal. I think they should do that. I think all companies should do that. You could even just do it online. Like, I think that you should just have, like, maybe like a receipt number or something, or I don't know. But just, I'm certainly not saying that everybody's going to actually fucking do it. But if people, you're entered to maybe win more shit or like a gift card to like write stuff or something, I think that would be cool. Ushio and Tora limited edition was a blind buy for me. It was on sale, so I figured why not. Turned out to be good, especially season 2, which is better. I never blind buy stuff; it's too risky. I'm trying to think of something that I blind bought that was NHK. I don't think I had watched NHK before I bought it. A blind buy that was good. It might be a loose use of the term blind, but I had never ever seen any of the Slayers before I bought the 3-season box set. This really flimsy ass box set that they have. And I only watched season 1 so far, and it was really funny and really good. Blind buys that were actually paid off. Those are usually more rare. I might have to get back to you on that. I think my first blind buy that was good for me might have been Shakugan no Shana. Oh, there you go. That's another one. Yeah, Shakugan no Shana, really good. Really good. Okay, well, it's not really good, but like it's entertaining for what it is. In terms of quality, it's not very good, but it's, Shauna's, a really cool female character. I love her fucking name. I love the name Shauna, and even that anime like instilled that feeling like even more. She's funny. She's fucking classic tsundere chick. It is kind of just like a certain magical index. Like, J-Chip, if you've never watched a certain magical index, you should watch it, and you're going to get vibes to Shakugan no Shana. 100%. It's just with magic and science instead of whatever the fuck they were doing in Shana. I guess I showed now and then here and there. This is something else that I really value in my collection. This is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Probably one of the more expensive things in my set, at least when I bought it. This was years ago. So this was like, I want to say it was like $100 and something bucks. 100 and whatever. Fortunately, it's got some dust on the top now. Yeah, $100 and something dollars. I remember I bought that and the End of Ava in one go. I had just started working a new job, I think, at that point, and I was like, oh, got some cash. And I remember End of Ava was like $100 just for that fucking movie. So all in all, it was like $300 to get everything. But, it hasn't been, besides the Netflix thing, you can't really watch it without pirating it. There's that aspect of it too. Another blind buy for me was Kamikaze Taxi, just because of the title. Ended up being one of my favorite Japanese movies. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't think that, like, especially if they're not giving you any avenue. This is like the thing that I think advocates piracy is like, I think a lot of these companies don't necessarily license some of the things that are classics, right? I think we pay a lot more attention to getting fucking Akashic Records on Blu-ray than we do getting Now and Then Here and There on Blu-ray. And, money talks. Money does certainly talk, but I could be wrong, but I think Legends of Galactic Heroes, like we said, it was only that $800 set. You know how much money they would fucking make if they just came out with a $30, $40 version? People would fucking buy that shit. I'm telling you right now. Some people bought the $800 shit. Not a lot. I don't think nearly enough for them to really be happy. If they made a $40 one, they'd be stoked because there'd be tons of them fucking sold. First time I ever got was the 2 Baki the Grappler box sets. But the first complete series I ever bought was Soul Eater. I'm not counting the random Yu-Gi-Oh volumes. The Torrented filtered Blu-ray quality is still the best version of the Ava series compared to other releases. I have not seen this. I don't know. I'm dying for a technologized Blu-ray release, but that'll never happen. It's weird. Technowise is kind of like a cult favorite. So I could see it. I mean, Lane got a Blu-ray. You know, the fucking Inuyasha movie's got a Blu-ray. So I wouldn't say never. It might happen. It might just take a while, you know. Shakugan no Shana has a Blu-ray. Funimation almost released Cowboy Bebop for $500. Holy shit. $500. I love Bebop. No way in hell am I spending $500. I don't even spend another like $20, $30 on the Blu-ray. I'm happy with my DVD. There's need to be have worthwhile goodies for physical releases. No print and paying $50 to just own a series. If I could just watch it online for free. True. I think they're like, yeah, that hits the nail on the head because like it has to be like worth it, right? It has to. And how do you define it? That also depended on the person. Like, how does that person define worth it? I think for some people, it honestly is just a simple matter of having a physical copy. They don't need the extra features. They don't need whatever. They just want to have their series. And that's cool. That's cool for you. I tend to look for a little more. I tend to look for a little more than that. I would like some commentaries. I'd like some cool art. I'd like a nice box. And if not, you can give me a little like thin DVD, Blu-ray thing, but don't make it that expensive. And you can at least have commentary. I feel like commentary is easy. I'm fine with the Lane DVDs. I got it on the upgrade. Almost got everything. I think the Lane that I have is a lot of them are like Blu-ray and DVD. A box set should at least come with a poster or a keychain. That's a good point. And that's what I think, like, I think what they don't want to do is necessarily invest, because you got to think about it from, like, the company perspective, okay? And I know somebody out there is going to be like, well, they already make a whole bunch of money. Okay. This is fucking capitalism here, okay? People are trying to make money. Companies are not trying to spend more, okay? Especially on a niche fucking medium like anime is in America. Right? Like, this isn't like Breaking Bad on fucking Blu-ray, okay? This is like, so what I don't think that, this is one reason I don't think we get as many cool box sets as we used to, is that I don't think they want to spend the money on something that, you know, only like the dinosaurs of the anime community are buying shit. The older crowd. And if their show appeals to a younger crowd, they know that the older crowd probably isn't going to be paying attention to it, just they're not going to buy it. So they're going to have little Timmy and little Becky are going to go up to their mommy and daddy, and they're going to say, can you buy me this little thing? And if they make it just this little shitty Blu-ray thing, the parents are probably going to buy it, and it's money in their pocket for basically doing nothing. That's all they did was slap a bunch of episodes onto a Blu-ray disc and shove it into a really like a $1 plastic case and say, here you go. What they don't do anymore are the cool box sets, because I don't think that they're willing to spend the money. But what I think that they should do is on every release, no matter what you're getting, is have the ability to maybe enter some kind of like giveaway type deal. And maybe you can get like it and then promote other products, right? I remember they used to do like grab bag type of stuff. They used to do like anime, like a box of like, there used to be YouTube videos of people opening like a box of like random anime from certain stores. That could be the store itself doing that. But I think that'd be a cool option too. Remember the days that we would get Darker Than Black that would be released in an envelope? I've heard bad shit about that set though. I've heard that the discs like don't stay in the thing. Darker Than Black is a series that I really need to watch at some point. It sounds super interesting, but I've never gotten around to it. But yeah, I'll sort of wrap it up here. I haven't bought stuff in a while. A lot of other factors coming in, like bills, stuff like the real life. I mean, I also play Yu-Gi-Oh! In real life, which takes a lot of my fucking money, because that's a whole nother fucking football field of issues in terms of spending money and collecting things. But I still love anime. I still do like collecting anime. I'm going to continue to do it. I just don't do it nearly as much as I used to. I think that's sort of like wound down. Um, and I certainly don't do. You learn from your experiences. Manga, I prefer to, both of them. I prefer to like own in person if I can, but I'll usually try something on a stream first, and see how it is there. But with manga, I usually kind of just buy it and read it, and then end up hating it on my shelf. But yeah, I do miss the collector's editions. I think we need more commentaries. I think we need more art. I think we need more posters. I think we need more cool shit going into these things for people to buy it. Maybe if they did it as some kind of like a raffle thing or some kind of like a giveaway type deal. That way they're not spending a ton of money putting, these shitty posters in every little Blu-ray. Um, um, I think they should also give incentive for people that go to conventions. I think that people that go to cons should have. I think they should have like special like. What if they had like special like convention editions? Imagine that if they had like convention edition of fucking High School DxD or like the girls like tits are fully uncovered. Uh, but yeah, I think figures are more worth buying than Blu-rays nowadays. I think figures are more worth buying nowadays anyway. That's true. That's also a very, very expensive hobby. I mean, you can get cheaper figures, but um, like, or you could just do what I did and you go to Japan and you get a little Tomoko. She's from Japan, and she sits by my computer always. It makes me feel better about myself because I'm not as awkward as she is. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know down below what you guys think of collecting in general. What's something you value from your collection? Do you consider yourself someone that's going to be buying manga and anime as we go into the future? Do you have you switched over to just doing piracy stuff? Why not? What are the pluses and minuses? I want to thank everybody for coming. You guys should check out J-Chip from the J-Chip Show's channel and Dread. And if you want to, you can join my Patreon, which will get you into the Discord server as well. We do like monthly watch-alongs and stuff like that. You have any suggestions for me, topics, anything, please put them down below. And it was good to see all of you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And I will see you next time. See ya.